Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to FedEx Forum as we meet the four newest Grizzlies after last night's NBA draft. I want to welcome friends and family, our assembled media, and also audiences looking in on Grizzlies.com and BallySports.com, and also the mobile apps for those platforms as well. I'm Pete Pranica, TV voice of the Memphis Grizzlies. This is always a very, very exciting day as we get to meet some guys who are going to wear Beale Street blue and will become, I'm sure, fan favorites. I'm joined on the dais this afternoon by the Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager and NBA Executive of the Year, Zach Kleiman, Head Coach Taylor Jenkins, and, of course, the four gentlemen that we acquired in last night's NBA draft. And to tell you a little bit more about them, Jake LaRavia was selected 19th overall. His rights were acquired from the Minnesota Timberwolves. He comes to us after playing last year with Wake Forest. In his junior season, averaged 14.5 points, 6.5 boards per game. Through his 3-year NCAA career, shot 52% overall and 37% from three-point range, averaged more than a block and a steal per game, which is appropriate since the Grizzlies led the league in stocks last year. Jake is 6'7", comes to us, as I said, from Wake Forest, and we get another Indiana native on our roster, so John Conchar will have some company. Selected 23rd overall in this draft has now been completed. The trade call was completed. David Roddy joins us from Colorado State. He was the Mountain West Player of the Year, and he did everything for the Rams last year, leading them in scoring, rebounding, and blocks per game, second in assists and in steals as well. His impact was undeniable as he helped the Rams back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013, and also the highest seed the Rams had ever achieved as a 6th overall seed. Selected number 38 overall, we know him well because he is from Cordova. Kennedy Chandler, of course, played his freshman season at UT, where he led Tennessee in scoring, assists, and in steals. And most impressively, he was the SEC Tournament MVP, only the second volunteer to achieve that, the other one being Allen Houston. And, of course, we know him from his great high school career at Briarcrest. And then selected 47th overall out of VCU, a 6'6" wing, Vince Williams Jr. He led VCU in scoring and rebounding last year, averaging 14 points per game, 6 boards as well, and led the Atlantic 10 in plus-minus, and a member of the All-Atlantic 10 first team. These are the four gentlemen who will be donning Beale Street blue, and you'll see their jersey numbers at the end of this press conference. Guys, I want to welcome you to Memphis. This organization believes in you not merely for your basketball talents, which are considerable, but because we believe that you can fit the culture that Zach and Taylor and the rest of this organization has established. It's about care factor. It's about caring about your teammates as people, as well as basketball players. It's about being outstanding in the community and on the court. And we are thrilled that you will be wearing Memphis across your chests, and I can't wait to see you guys in Summer League. With that, we will turn it over to the media for questions, and Ross Wooden will have the wireless microphone. And since the four guys are new to you, if you would please not only announce your name but your affiliation as well.
Okay, there we go. DeMichael Cole, Commercial Appeal in Memphis. For Jake and David, specifically you two, seems like they liked your, multi-positional versatility. What positions do you love to play the most, and just where are you most comfortable?
I'm very comfortable on the wing. I think that's my favorite position to play. But like you said, I'm very versatile offensively, so I think I can play multiple positions.
Say more of a forward type, 3 or 4. In Colorado State, our offense was 4 around 1, so I got a lot of reps around the three-point line as well as in the post. So I think, again, that's a unique part of my game, and hopefully, I'll start to incorporate that into the offense as well.
Kennedy Chandler. So Zach Kleiman said last night how people are going to be shocked at how you are expected and you will perform here with the Grizzlies. And, of course, you kind of hinted that you didn't think everything went the way you expected it to go last night, but you're here in Memphis. And so the fact that you're able to be at home and stay at home and then, of course, play out in front of a home crowd, just tell me how important that is from your perspective.
You know, it means a lot for me to be back home. It's been a long journey for me, being able to play in front of my friends and family. I've been away from home probably for 2 years now, so for me to wear Memphis across my chest and be able to play for this organization, it means a lot.
For Taylor, can you just go down the line here and say what you liked and what you see from each one of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was said at the very beginning, the versatility is big, but, you know, when you get to know these guys as people, there's an ultimate care factor and competitiveness. Just, you know, all the work that our front office has done, you know, studying them, you know, on and off the floor, they're going to be natural fits for what we're building here in Memphis. And then, you know, from the player standpoint, I mean, you look at all four of them, you know, obviously different positions, but I think the versatility on offense, the versatility on defense, we always talk about playmakers. I think you look at all these guys, the film lines up with the stats. You know, you start there, you start digesting what they've done in their college careers, you know, what they do with the ball in their hands, what they do with the ball out of their hands, the shot-making ability, something that really jumped out to us, that they can play multiple positions, they can create offense out of multiple positions, they can shoot threes at a high level, which is very exciting, but then also the competitiveness on the defensive end. I look at all four of these guys, and when you watch, they have that care factor, and that's something obviously we've built here over 3 years, is the care factor, not just on the offensive end and how free we play, but the defensive style that we play. The, you know, Pete just said it, the stocks, these guys, they rack up, you know, stats in the rebounding department, block shots, steals, they take on the toughest challenges. That's going to be something that I'm excited to challenge them with. How are they going to take that to the next level from college to the NBA? But I led off with the care factor that these guys have to want to compete at the highest level. They're hard workers as well. When you sit down with them, get to know about them, and you kind of strip back, you know, the basketball player piece, and you just understand who they are as people. That's probably one of the biggest things that we talk about, you know, who we want to add into our organization. All four of these guys, you know, just jump off the charts when it comes to that.
Taylor, another question for you, because we've seen, you know, Vince play multiple positions. We've seen Kennedy play on and off the ball, and we just talked to these two about, you know, playing multiple positions as well. What is, for you as a coach, you know, what does this versatility mean? Like, how do you use this properly and you know, display it in a way? And then also the rebounding factor. I think all of these guys, you know, statistically and on their tape in college were great rebounders. What does it mean to have great rebounders that can help your, you know, your centers and your big men crash the glass as well? Yeah,
well, I'll work backwards. You know, your second question there, I mean, that's huge for us. I thought we took a step in the right direction. Obviously, we've had big men that have been really, you know, big-time factors on the boards for us, not just defensively but offensively. But for our defense to take another level, to ignite our offense, you know, I talk to our guys, you know, anybody can contribute on the boards to really ignite our offense. You see how, you know, I'm a broken record all the time, our defense fuels our offense. Well, that starts with, you know, great discipline on the defensive side. These guys display that, but when then multiple guys can, you know, hit the boards and really create offense for us, I think all these guys are going to be able to do that at multiple positions. And to your first point, you know, being able to have playmakers at multiple positions, whether you're going to say this guy's a 1 or a 2, I like throwing numbers out because I look at our depth. I started putting our depth chart together, trying to figure this out. I mean, it's going to be very competitive. I mean, we've got a lot of guys, you know, over 3 years that have been able to contribute for us. These guys are going to add more competitiveness to our unbelievable depth that we're continuing to build here. So when these guys, I know I can have faith and trust in them that they're going to be able to have that care factor on the defensive side to not just guard one position but be great on-ball defenders, team defenders, which these guys show. And then on the offensive end, whether they're playing pick and roll, they're coming off-ball screens, they run the floor well in transition. I see that out of these guys. But when I really zone in, I see these guys have a willingness to pass the ball, set their teammates up, you know, try to execute the offense efficiently. That really jumps off the page, you know, and whether they're playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe some of the guys you never know, especially with David, he may be playing the 5. He played 5, you know, at Colorado State at times. That excites me. I look at, you know, Kennedy, like playing on the ball, playing off the ball. Vince, you know, at times when I was watching him, I was like, is he playing the big? Is he playing the wing? And then with Jake, you know, as he said, you know, comfortability on the wing, but also inside with his career, 3 years in college, he played different positions. You know, that excited me about Jake as well. So really excited, you know, about all four of these guys from a playmaking standpoint.
Yeah, Parker Fleming, Grizzly Bear Blues. This is for both Jake and David. So obviously at y'all's schools, y'all took on more like go-to scoring roles, and it really showed that y'all were able to score in a variety of ways. ISO, catch and shoot, pick and roll. How do you see that like translating as now you're complementing a talented backcourt with John Morant and Desmond Bain?
I mean, I think it's just going to make it easier being able to play with someone of that all-star caliber, playing off ball, playing, he's going to have a lot of eyes on him when we're on offense together. So just being able to play off him and, make him look as good as he is, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he said, just to make, the guys that solidified themselves look even better, knock down big shots when I need to, knock down open shots when I need to, and, again, do the glue guy things, get rebounds, get stops on defense, as well as make the right play consistently. So I think that's something that I can incorporate definitely early in my game.
This is a question for Jake. We saw the video of David last night when he was talking to Zach, and he was totally surprised that the Grizzlies took him. I'm curious. Zach mentioned last night that they were they zeroed in on you. Did you have a feeling going into the draft that the Grizzlies really liked you, or were you like David, where you're kind of totally surprised when they picked you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were kind of interested in me. I thought I had a good workout with them, good interviews, and I talked to the front office before too. But going to the draft, it was really everything's a mystery. I didn't really know what was going to happen, but I'm super excited that I ended up here.
And then Zach, for you, now that the trade for David is finalized, I'm curious your thoughts on, I guess, why you're obviously giving up a pretty good player in DeAnthony Melton to go get him, and then also what the plans are for Danny Green moving forward.
Yeah, so on the trade, first and foremost, DeAnthony Melton was a big part of this team. What really appreciated what DeAnthony brought to the table on the court and very much, off the court in the community in Memphis as well. Had and can expect to continue to have a great relationship with DeAnthony going forward. Never easy, to move on from someone who is a very significant part of the team. For us, we're working through our pre-draft process, determining who are the guys that we felt really passionate about bringing in, and allocating things maybe a little bit differently positionally. When we had the opportunity to go in and acquire David, that was something we wanted to jump on. TBD, on Danny's involvement.
Michael Wallace, Grind City Media, Grizzlies.com. For each one of the draft picks, can you describe something over the last 24 hours that was sort of a pinch me moment? Now that you guys are professionals, what's the first day been like so far for you guys?
I'd say it's weird for sure, just because I don't really know how to feel yet. It hasn't really hit me yet. I'd say that. But I feel like once I get settled, and then that's when everything is going to start settling down for me, honestly.
Just like what he said, it really hasn't hit me yet, honestly. Just a very special moment, especially for me, be able to play for my hometown team and being there at the moment with all my friends and family being here. So, it's a very special moment for me.
Yeah, currently still on adrenaline right now. Don't know how to feel still. It's unreal. It's a great opportunity, and it's a lifelong dream, being accomplished. So again, I need probably a few more days to give you, the right answer.
I mean, just like what David said, it's a dream come true. I've been dreaming of this moment ever since I was a kid. So hearing my name called, it was such a surreal moment for me, and just being able to celebrate my family and friends. It was an experience I ain't never gonna forget.
My follow-up was, Zach, you alluded to this last night. Did you anticipate drafting a class? This is the most extensive draft class that you've had since you guys have run the front office. Were you anticipating the numbers in terms of guys that you were bringing?
Yeah, no, I did not anticipate drafting a class quite this large. You never necessarily know going in that a player, on your team, obviously a player in DeAnthony was involved in that trade. So when, there was a player going out and we were able to bring David in, we consolidated the picks that we had coming in, the 2 first-round picks in the trade that allowed us to go and get Jake. It was really, Kennedy, being on the board, they're slipping into the second round. Kennedy was very, very high on our board, as well, going into the night, and someone that we felt strongly about and easily could have been a first-round, pick of ours. So it was Kennedy, being there and us aggressively, trying to pursue and being able to bring Kennedy into the organization that caused us to really go out and say, yeah, no, I mean, we certainly have no issue, going out and adding another person, who we think is going to be a real contributor and significant part of this organization going forward. So, we're always open-minded and try to be, nimble. And if there's an opportunity that we think is worth, jumping on, we were prepared to do that, going into the night. It's certainly within the realm of scenarios we talked about, before the night, but I think, as I said last night, I absolutely shocked that Kennedy was there, given how we felt, about him. So we were very excited to, kind of extend that, one beyond the amount of picks we had coming into the night, because we felt really strongly about adding Kennedy to this group.
Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian. I have two questions, one for David and one for Zach. If you can, take us through that phone call just a little bit. What was that like? Did you believe it was him? What was you were collapsing on the couch? Take us through that.
Yeah, so it was a surreal moment. So initially it was my agent Chris. So basically I kind of have two agents kind of right now. So Chris and Josh, who's here. So it's actually a funny story. So I was sitting down on the couch and Josh was just going back and forth. Just on phone calls and just updating us with, certain teams and everything. And, the pace started to pick up a little bit, when pick 20 happened and, he was trying to, connect a call to my agent. And, that's the person who was on the phone at that point. And, told me I was going to get drafted by, the Grizzlies. And it was just my heart I don't even know. It was just my heart dropped and I was just so excited and it was just an unreal experience. And then after that, hearing my name called and that celebration was just so pure. And then they actually FaceTimed me right after, and I didn't know what the number was, so I kind of just let it go initially. And then they called me again. I was like, okay, I need to answer this. And then it was Taylor and Zach. So again, it was just an unreal call and an unreal moment. And so still trying to recover from that.
And then for Zach, so on that FaceTime, which you maybe didn't know was going to be public, but we all heard it, you told him the grand plan all along was to get him. In terms of secrecy, how many people know the grand plan? And does he not even know? I mean, are they totally unaware of how much you are interested in them? I mean, this is all by design, I take it, right? How does that work from your perspective?
Yeah, the draft process is an interesting one. Yeah, there's no question about that. We, as you probably and most people in this know, we're in many cases, protective of how we try to operate. We do things, in the dark, as John might say. We have our way of doing things, and we'd rather kind of try to show our work at the end of the day rather than just be overtly talking about everything that we might be up to. But everything has a plan and meaning behind it. Can be case by case and trying to operate, where we want to get to. And, we had a plan going into the night, where we felt like all the individuals who are seated up here would be very significant additions to the group. And we're more than excited that we were able to go out and acquire them along the way.
I guess this is for Vince and Jake. The Grizzlies are known as kind of a fiery bunch. Some players that aren't afraid to talk trash, and I think you see kind of in the offseason some of the exchanges. Do you think you fit in with that type of group? Does that match, I guess, your style of play on the court?
I can get it. I feel like we played against each other, so we were both going at it already. So I feel like we would be prepared. We'd be all right, honestly.
That's one of my favorite aspects to the game is talking trash. So I'm good for it.
Along those same lines, I was just about to ask, Vince, you put 27 on these guys, Wake Forest, when you guys played, but they got the win.
Yeah.
How much have you guys talked about that in the last 24 hours? And for Coach and Zach, how much do you remember watching those two guys play, and what did you take from that game, scouting it?
Question went to y'all first.
We haven't spoke about it yet, to be honest.
Yeah, he did cook this, but you feel me? We got the win.
They got the win. That's all that matters. It's good. It's all right.
Zach, do you want to take?
Yeah. One of very, very, very many games that we watched. Yes.
Well, I just saw the competitive fire. I think they're kind of holding back right now. I think they're managing a lot of emotions. But, I mean, as I said, in one of my earlier statements, just the competitive fire that these guys have, what Drew just asked, I think you're going to see this. These guys, when I say are a natural fit, it's the personalities, it's the play style. It jumped across the page when we watched them. Like, these guys, for however minutes they played, it was the full 40 in college. They were bringing it. I expect nothing less, obviously, from these guys.
This is for either Taylor or Zach, but I'll address it to Taylor. Do you is it your maybe hope that Kennedy is ready to be John Morant's backup right away? Is that the thought in drafting him where you did?
I mean, obviously, we think he's a big part of our future. I mean, I think he's got, opportunities, as we've had in my first 3 years. I love, rookies getting opportunities early. They're going to have to earn it at the end of the day. But, as Zach just alluded to earlier, the excitement to be able to bring Kennedy into the fold, irregardless of where he was at. I mean, the talent that he has, the winning background that he has, the care factor that he has, that's what we look for, in our point guard position, the leadership that he's already displayed even in just 1 year in college. So I look forward to diving in with him. This is an important summer for all these guys. Obviously, get to learn how they're going to fit with our group, but he's got all the traits that we're excited about.
I'm in the back, Samaria Terry, WRAG News Channel 3 here in Memphis. This is for all the draft picks. Regardless of where the Grizzlies come from, when they get to Memphis, they really embody that grit and grind mentality. Do you feel like when you heard your name called to the Grizzlies, like you really can embody that too?
I kind of watched the Grizzlies a lot throughout this whole season, and I kind of I seen that when I was watching them, like they just got that kind of factor to their game. So I thought this was I thought this was the best spot for me, and I think I'm gonna fit right in.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I think it was a great fit. Just super competitors everywhere. People who hate losing and always want to push each other. I think that's something that I love, and that's really what drives me to play the game of basketball, is to compete, and just the joy of competing is why I play sports. So I think that's something that I'll fit right in with.
Yeah, same thing. I just feel like that defines my game, just by me wanting to win every single game and not wanting to lose, and figure out each way to get the job done. And that's how I'm a competitive, and the grit and grind, I feel like it's in me just by watching the Grizzlies all my entire life, and just knowing that watching the team from last year, that's who they symbolize themselves as.
I would say just because it seems like the city is crazy over the basketball team, and I feel like I had that at VCU too. So I feel like just the basketball nature and the culture is good. So I feel like I'll fit in right perfect.
Kennedy and David, Kennedy, for you, just what do you think it'll look like, you, John Morant, in the same backcourt at the same time? And then David, I saw you mention, about your relationship with Tyus Jones. One, have you spoken with him yet, and just describe, growing up in that area and watching him succeed, in the NBA with the Grizzlies?
I think the backcourt with me and Ja would be, it'd be nice and fun to play with him. I'm excited, be able to play alongside and learn from him as well. He's been here for three years, and I want to learn a lot from him, what he's learned throughout his rookie year and other years that he's played with him. So, I'm very excited to play along with him. Yeah,
Tyus was, one of my mentors. I mean, going through the AAU circuit, I was teammates with his younger brother Trey Jones. So, I got to know more about him and his family. He texted me before the draft, just saying good luck. Giving me advice on the Memphis workout as well. Super excited as well. I think he knew before the draft, but again, he's just such a great guy. And growing up, just hearing consistently about this kid from Apple Valley, just averaging 35 points, and in AAU he's playing 17s in 8th grade and everything, and so sold out crowds in high school and winning state championships and everything. So yeah, you definitely knew about Tyus Jones growing up in Minnesota.
Two things for me. First of all, for Kennedy, did you want to play in Memphis? Did you want to stay home? Was that your preferred choice? And then for Zach, a lot is made about body type in the pre-draft process, and you have a wide range up here right now. So I'm just curious, how much does that factor into your scouting and what you consider?
Let Kennedy go first.
I thought Memphis would be a great fit for me. Honestly, coming to the draft, I had no clue where I was going to go. Just by me going second round, I had no clue, But, I'm here now. I'm very excited to get things going and, be part of this team.
I think body type's a really interesting part of the draft evaluation process. It's certainly one of, I think a lot of things that you look at, you weigh it to the extent that you think it's meaningful. At the end of the day, though, I think what we really care about is who is the person, and, are they good at basketball? I think sometimes, you can get lost in, is their wingspan short? Do they not look like a basketball player, or this and that? At the end of the day, if they are a fit, with the type of people that we prioritize bringing in here, are they competitive? is that care factor there? And are they good at basketball? That's something that we really, fall back on and make sure we don't lose sight of in that process. Always an interesting discussion point, though.
So he just mentioned the care factor. One thing that was a big storyline for the Grizzlies this year was how close they seem to be, how much of a family they seem to be. You're adding 4 new faces to the roster. This is really a question for you, Coach. Was that family characteristic of the team just a natural progression of how they got along, or was there some type of way that, because Ja actually credited you at some point in the season for that chemistry, is that something that you had to make sure to do? And if so, how do you plan to do it this season?
Well, I think I'm a big believer in things have to happen organically. I've repeated myself. Zach, said it many times as well. These guys are going to learn it very quickly here. We are very intentional about the people we bring into the organization, and that's not just our players. That's our entire staff, everyone that works with the Grizzlies. We try to create opportunities where there's so much interaction with each other, informal, formal, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, the thing that connects us is our love for basketball and our love for going out there and winning on the floor and getting better, all those traits. So knowing that everyone, each of these guys especially, has that deep down inside in their heart and their mind, it's going to be a natural course of action. And what I've enjoyed seeing over the last couple of years is the leadership of Ja, Jaren, Dez, DB, all these guys are taking these guys under their wing. And a lot of these guys are only in the league for 3, 4, 5 years, but they're establishing themselves as vets of our culture. And the fact that they own that every single day, every single year, not just in season, but out of season, it pays dividends for what you're able to accomplish on the floor. So, I appreciate Ja saying what he did, but at the end of the day, there's a vision, but these guys have to go out there and execute. It starts with the people. But then if we can just let it happen naturally, that's what you get, and that's the more beautiful aspect of that.
Sean Coleman, Locked On Grizzlies. This question is for Kennedy. Kennedy, you had recently mentioned in an interview that at the University of Tennessee, one thing that really developed about your game was the mid-range game, and you had learned a lot there, growed there as well. Coming into an organization that, as Zach said last night, really emphasizes shot efficiency, just from your perspective, how excited are you to see the development of your shot, working with Coach Jenkins, who's done an exceptional job with the team in that area, just the development of your shot and offensive game? How excited are you to work within Memphis' organization to form that?
Yeah, just like you said, when I got to Tennessee, I didn't have a mirror game at all, and it's all about development and about putting the time in and getting better every single day. And I looking forward to learning from Coach Jenkins and spending time in the gym with him and getting better every single day. And it's always something for you to get better on every single day. So I'm just looking forward to getting better every single day.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Memphis Grizzlies, and now we need to see you in your brand new jerseys.
And then you want just the guy? Yeah, it'd be great. Yep. Keep doing the back, and then we'll push it around that. Put a little closer. Take one with you guys, switch around to see the show. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, guys. And family members, if you want to join them out here, thank you for being here. I know it's a big moment for all of you. Welcome to Memphis.